Hi, you're listening to the OmniTalk Fast 5, brought to you in partnership with Microsoft, the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Takeoff, and Sezzle. The OmniTalk Fast 5 podcast is the podcast that we hope makes you feel a little smarter, but most importantly, a little happier each week, too. Today is August 11th, 2022. I'm your host, Ann Mazenga.
And I'm Chris Walton.
And I, for one, am back from Iceland and ready to discuss all the top headlines that made waves in the world of omnichannel retailing, not for just 1 week, but for the past 2 weeks. Chris, are you ready?
Yeah, I know. You were in Iceland, man. That's crazy. Like, tell the audience. Inquiring minds want to know. What's it like?
I'm an unofficial spokesperson for the country of Iceland now.
Yeah,
they didn't ask me. They don't want me. I just evangelize Iceland to every single person. You've had to hear more about it this last week than you'd ever want to, but it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you sent me a text. It was like your text was, it's magical. I'll never forget that text. It's magical.
It was magical.
Maybe think it was like Disneyland or something.
It kind of felt like you were on the scene.
And how many, over and under, because I actually should have put a poll out on this and I didn't, but over and under on how many hot springs pools you waded into
every day
on your trip.
At least one every day.
Like 10? Like how many in total?
I don't even know how many.
Probably more than one every day.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we were there for 6 days. I think we were at least one every day. So I would say 6 is probably the total number was divided 6 or 7.
6
maybe.
Separate hot springs wading experiences. That's what was magical.
It was magical.
Well, I'm pretty jealous of you. I mean, you've been to London, Amsterdam,
You've been
Germany,
with me in all these spaces.
Madrid. I haven't been to Iceland, but I'm jealous. But I'm excited, though, because we're going to get back on the trade show circuit here. We got grocery shop in September.
Yep.
In Vegas, which is my favorite place to go, not your favorite place to go.
No.
We got NRF in January, Manifest in January.
Yes, I'm excited for Manifest because you know why?
Why?
Last year they had Ludacris, and I cannot wait to see who they get this year. I am pumped. And I think we learned more at that conference than we have like in a very long time. It was so eye-opening.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think it was like if I had an award to give out, I think it would be Newcomer Trade Show of the Year without a doubt.
Right.
And good note here. We are actually officially the live stream MCs from the Manifest show. We just got named that this week. Yeah, they asked us to do that again. And if you're interested too, there's a discount code for the show. With a discount link, really, that gets you $200 off your registration for the show. We'll put that in the show notes for those of you that are interested.
Yes.
But join us at the end of January. It's a really cool show. You learn a ton about things, especially in retail, that you might not know that much about. All right, Ann. Well, today's review, it's that reviewing time.
It's review time once again.
My favorite time of the podcast. And this quite possibly is my favorite Apple podcast handle of all time. And that is Cork Soaker 11-21-5 or I don't know 1-12-15. I have no idea. 11,215. Cork Soaker 11,215.
Apparently, Cork Soaker is a popular name.
That is really hard to say on a podcast too if you're not careful. Cork Soaker.
Yes.
Here's what the aforementioned Cork Soaker had to say, and he said he or she, I don't know who Cork Soaker is.
No.
That's really hard. 5 stars. The best podcast about modern retail. I highly recommend. Which I think is an awesome review to come back to after 2 weeks of a hiatus.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the modern part, Ann.
It is a very modern.
We're very
retail
modern.
show.
There's
yes.
nothing old in what we do, Ann, except maybe my
Ourselves.
bones and the blood that flows through my body on a given week. But yes, thank you, Cork Soaker 11,215 or 11,21-5 or however you want to arrange those numerals.
Yes, and please join Cork Soaker and leave a review. Pretty much with whatever Cork Soaker does. I feel like that's a good lesson for life. But join Cork Soaker and leave us a review if you're listening on Apple Podcasts. Heart the podcast if you're on Spotify, Google, Amazon Music. But please follow and subscribe so that we can keep making this content possible for all of you. And we may just read it aloud one day for all of our listeners.
Yes, please leave us a review and one-up Cork Soaker this week.
Not possible.
All right, Ann, you ready to get to the Fast Five?
Yes.
All right, yes, authoritatively.
Let's do it.
All right, today's Fast Five is brought to you with the help and support of our good friends at Grocery Shop. Are you a retailer or brand thinking about attending Grocery Shop this year? Well, don't even think about it without using our promo code specifically for our OmniTalk listeners. Just go to groceryshop.com and enter promo code RBOT1950. That's RBOT1950 for your special discounted rate. In today's Fast Five, we've got news on Walmart seeking a streaming partner for Walmart Plus, Amazon launching same-day delivery services for a bevy of mall-based retailers, Walmart again for its new mini retail travel experiences, 7-Eleven's reported Skipcart acquisition, but first we take off with a late-breaking story out of Kohl's yesterday that just had to lead the show. Anne.
All right, Chris, that's right. According to a company press release, Kohl's has launched what it is calling self-pickup at all Kohl's stores. So this is how it works. There's a demo link in the press release. Step 1, you place your order and you select in-store pickup. You get an email from Kohl's that says your order is ready. And once you received an email, you can head into your Kohl's store. Click on the link to open the pickup pass.
The pickup pass.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't catch that yesterday. That's pretty funny, actually.
Yes.
Don't you think? The marketing team should have a field day with that. They won't, but they should.
They should. All right, step 2, once you arrive in the store and find the self-pickup area, wherever it is in the giant Kohl's box, you select Start Pickup on your mobile phone. Step 3, you enter the 4-digit code that's listed on the self-pickup station to find your order. And step 4, you get the location bin number of your order, which is displayed on your mobile device. You get your order from the bin and select Complete My Order. And then finally, we're not done. Step 5, you take your Kohls.com order and you're on your merry way.
Wow.
Yes. Chris, you had a couple of thoughts about this, just a couple. Why don't you share those with the audience?
Well, after that 5-step process, I think maybe I'm not even going to do this justice. But I mean, after you read that, I'm kind of lost already. And I can't think of rolling something out with more points of failure. I don't think it's possible. This headline again to me, and it's getting a lot of press today. It was like the first thing I read this morning when I woke up. This headline just proves to me that Kohl's leadership is absolutely lost at this point, Ann. Yeah. That's my opinion here. Yeah. And it's not like lost like I took a wrong turn in a city I've never been in. It's like lost in that I can't find my way around my own house. That's how lost this is.
That's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. It is. And the picture says 1,000 words. And kudos to you because you found a picture of what the pickup station in store looks like.
Yeah.
And we're going to put that in the show notes too.
Yeah.
But it's basically shelving with cardboard bins.
Yeah.
Like the equivalent of what you find in the back room of most retailers, right?
Right.
That is going to be such a disaster for a number of reasons. Like the thing I don't like about this, I question how much this has really been tested during holiday peak times.
Right.
We've heard nothing about this. They're now rolling this out to all stores in time for the holidays. Self-pickup because you can do it yourself.
Yep.
Second, the process is incredibly confusing, as you just read. I don't know how they're not going to have mispicks by customers, right?
Yeah.
Like if everything's just laying out for anyone to take,
right.
like you could just accidentally take something that's not yours. Third, don't even get me talking about theft, right? Like the theft seems like it's going to be rampant with this, which makes me question how much they've actually tested this. And then my last point, Ann, that really pisses me off, the hubris of the whole thing.
Well, why?
Why does Kohl's think they can go where no one else has dared in how they're setting this up? When you have companies that are far more omnichannel than them, like Zara or, Home Depot, that are using pickup lockers that work just as well and don't come with nearly as many headaches. So that to me the whole thing is downright laughable. But what do you think? Am I being extreme or do you agree with me? I think you probably agree with me to a degree.
Look, I think the important thing is, I want this to work for Kohl's. I was like, this is great. You're figuring out self-pickup, help customers help themselves. This is, one of the cornerstones, I think, of modern convenience. But I am, I think, with you. I unfortunately think this is just destined to fail. Because...
Why?
Well, I also love that the analog for this is it works for Sweetgreen and fast casual restaurants. If I get the wrong Cobb salad, not a big deal. It's $15 loss. I think when you start thinking about major holiday purchases and who this is saving, the customers this is saving time for, if I spent $100 on an air fryer and it gets picked up by somebody else or I'm not there, or it's not there when I get there, that's a big deal. That's a huge investment. And so I think this is still going to have to be heavily staffed. The only other place I've seen what we saw in that Kohl's photo of how they're doing this is at a Nordstrom store, but they have 6 people manning that station to help pick in this order. It's not left to the customer. It's a different
service component to it at Nordstrom
Totally.
store.
It's not left
100%.
to the customers to try to completely figure this out on their own. And I think you bring up a good point of look how everybody else is doing it. Why not pick up lockers? You don't have to, especially if Kohl's is going to roll this out to every store, every locker company and their mother would be like, we'll offer you a rollout discount to like roll out to every Kohl's store. And you don't have to do like 10,000 lockers with you could do a very small test with this and like scale up how many lockers you have to create a much better customer experience and set yourself up for success. I don't know.
I agree with you. And isn't the locker easier for the consumer too? When you read through that thing to me, like there's all these steps where all I do is get a QR code on my phone, I put it on the locker screen, and the thing pops up magically again, like we showed with Best Buy last year.
Yeah, and there's one item in there, not a whole box to sift through. I think it's I'm bummed, Kohl's. I'm sorry.
I mean, you know me, I'd be the one where it tells me to go to like locker or position 2, and I'm going to accidentally grab what's in 3. Like, that's just going to happen. But anyway, all right, we keep moving on. So we're both kind of negative on this Kohl story then.
I
kind of came negative, more negative on that.
I wanted it to work for them. I like the idea, but it's just, I'm scared about the execution.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, it just goes to a long list of things we've brought up around Kohl's. All right, headline number 2, Walmart is reportedly seeking a streaming partner to bolster its Walmart Plus subscription program. Details are thin, but news of this headline broke in the New York Times last week after Business Insider also reported the week before that they obtained a leak memo which claimed that Walmart is being quite aggressive to get its employees to sign up for Walmart Plus, which it should be known is also free for them, and
yes.
that story cracks me up. According to the Times, Walmart recently met with executives from Disney, Comcast, and Paramount about how streaming content might boost its Walmart Plus membership program. And it's also unclear whether any of the streaming services plan to actually strike a deal with Walmart. Mm-hmm. And what's your take?
I think if they can get this to work, I think it's a win-win for the streaming platforms and for Walmart, and the customers of Walmart. I mean, it's great. It's an added bonus. I think if, though, and this is a major if, they can get people to sign up based on even the strong push they're making to try to get their employees sign up for the service, like they're not even able to get their employees to sign up for the service with all the current benefits, like that's going to be an issue. They're not the only ones that are doing partnerships with streaming partners to try to get that subscription. I mean, even with the current benefits, like you take a look at all the current benefits, you get free in-fridge delivery.
Right.
Okay. You get 10 cents a gallon off of fuel.
Which is pretty massive, actually.
Totally. You get a Spotify membership. You get scan and go in the Walmart stores.
Right.
And that's still not enough of an incentive for me to join Walmart Plus.
Right, it's not. No, exactly. And it sounds like they're employees too, which is telling you.
And I don't know that maybe Disney Plus subscription would be enough, but I think there's still going to have to be more.
So do you like this move? I'm curious. I want to ask you this. Do you like this move as a focus? Like, should they even try to bring a streaming service on, or do you think did you think that's not even a big enough hook?
No, I do think so. I mean,
really?
I feel like they're closely following the Amazon playbook, like we have video, we have this, like they're just kind of copying and pasting, which I think what you've said 100 times, like I still think leveraging your own Walmart assets, like what about it in your Walmart world is going to get people to join this program? You can't just copy and paste what Amazon is doing. Like how do you bring Sam's Club into this? How do you bring other entities into this? Like they're your marketplace. Like what other things can you uniquely offer as Walmart?
Well, I love that you said that, because that's when I first read this story, I was like, oh, that's cool. It makes sense. But then as I was thinking about it, preparing for the show, I was kind of like, I don't think this is going to work. Like, I don't think it's going to make a difference. Like, so I get it as an idea, but like, it honestly wouldn't make me pull the trigger on a Walmart Plus subscription either when I already have Amazon Prime and can get Disney on my own.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why is that going to put me over the top to then get Walmart Plus? It doesn't.
Yeah.
And there's another point about that too, but like I'll say it again, like, and you brought it up, a free Sam's Club membership is much more enticing. Something like that is much more enticing to me.
True.
Because that gives me something I wouldn't consider on my own.
Right.
And gives me new access to something I wouldn't otherwise try.
Right.
And that should be the intersection of the Venn diagram here in what you're putting in this program.
Yep.
To make it enticing, not things that I'm going to do anyway.
Right.
Right? Or that aren't convincing for me. But the other point about it that I kind of alluded to that's interesting to me is like, my question is, who leaked this story?
Yeah.
Right? Because if it was Walmart, then they want it out there to build hype.
Yeah.
And then it makes me actually wonder if it might have been the streaming services, because if it was, that's a good move for them on the negotiation side to get a better deal from Walmart. Disney seems like the match made in heaven.
Yeah.
But Disney just released their subscriber numbers. They don't need Walmart. And if it's going to be Disney, Walmart's going to pay through the nose for this.
Yeah.
So I don't like that this is where they're focusing, I think, net as I talk through this.
I think you have to have an exclusive deal too with Disney. Like you have to say, Disney, you cannot offer your subscription as part of any, if you have because you think about Disney's got their hands in every pot. T-Mobile, like your phone company, like Walmart customers, they have all these other options to get the same thing. It's still not enough of a push. So like,
which brings us back to the same point,
right? Unless you can get an exclusive with Disney or something, which to your point, you're gonna pay out the nose for. It's like,
but I can get exclusive Disney by myself for $10 a month. I don't need to pay $90 for it, right?
Yeah,
you know,
that's
true. The thing. It just doesn't make sense. All right, let's keep rolling.
Okay, headline number 3: Amazon has launched same-day delivery services for a number of popular retailers. Chris, according to Retail Dive, Amazon is expanding its Prime benefits and its services to other retailers with same-day delivery for customers of PacSun, GNC, Superdry, and Diesel, and they plan to add Sur La Table and 100% Pure in the coming months. Prime members can now shop products from these retailers on the Amazon app and Amazon.com, and they'll have their purchases delivered to their doorstep as soon as that same day, all with a click of a button. Right now, the service is only available in select zip codes in 10 metro areas, including Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, Miami, Phoenix, Seattle, as well as Scottsdale, Arizona, and Washington, D.C., and will also expand in the coming months. It's limited to select items and is free to Prime members as long as they spend at least $25, and orders below $25 will only cost $2.99.
Yeah.
Wow. This is a big deal, Chris.
Yeah, it is.
I think at least.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal too. I mean, the fact that you've got retailers signing up for it is makes it a big deal. I think, by default. I got to tell you though, it wouldn't be the move I would make.
Really?
No, it wouldn't be. And I thought really these topics this weekend, I probably thought more about my opinion on these than I have in a long time. Like some of them are pretty straightforward week to week, but this one, like I went back and forth on a lot of these.
Well, tell us about your back and forth. What happened in the mind of Chris Walton as you contemplated this story?
No, I mean it wouldn't be the move I'd make. The first call, like for example, the first calls I would make would be to people like Shekar at American Eagle and his Friend of Me Network, seeing if you can be a part of that.
Yeah.
Or the Front Door Collective as another potential outlet for you doing the same thing. There's other ways to get at this versus like basically signing up with Amazon, you know, but I can see the appeal of doing it. This is where I was conflicted on this. Like you're going on Amazon's marketplace. It's kind of a cheat code in a way to good omnichannel website functionality, because you don't have to invest in all the capabilities that show you how these same-day services can be delivered for your customer on your own website, which, as we know, is very difficult to pull off.
Yeah.
But the downside is that you can expect your products now when you're selling through that website to be aggressively priced against by third-party sellers, because now they're there and they know exactly how much to price them, in competition against you. And so net, I don't like where this is long term, and there's other avenues to explore before you say, okay, we're going here.
Yeah. Okay. Number one, I don't know if I completely agree with that, because first of all, this is a pretty damn compelling offer for your customers, especially for GNC, for PacSun.
It is.
Basically, you're saying you get free delivery same day. We're going to get this to you for free. Any of the items that if you look on the Amazon site that catalogs all these items, like anything over $25, if you're buying a pair of jeans,
for sure,
whatever, like you're getting free delivery same day when you need it. And I think it's a major curveball for DoorDash and Instacart and others who are trying to bring these retailers into their world so that they can get that subscription revenue. Because now, like, people already have Amazon. What do I need DoorDash for now if I can, if these benefits that they're offering me of, it's not just food, it's it's beauty, it's home, it's apparel, it's all these other things. Well, if Amazon's going to start doing this delivery, like I don't need that DoorDash or Instacart subscription. So I think that, your other point about you may have some competition from third-party sellers, I don't know if I agree with that, because I look at like this product.
The brand can stand up to its its own relative to the competition on the site.
The stuff on the site is not coming from the GNC in your own neighborhood. It's coming from a third party who you maybe don't know as well. Right. You don't have confidence, like if this is the wrong product, if it's expired when I arrive at, like all these things you can't bring into that store or go back and say like this I have a problem with it today, I need to fix it today. It becomes a larger problem. And I agree with you. I'd be a little skeptical as a retailer partnering with Amazon, but I kind of think this is something that you just need to maybe experiment with.
So you think you look at it as a test, an experiment, but you're still developing other capabilities in the background?
Yeah, I think that I think it's something that you will see a lot of customer satisfaction from. I think people are going to really appreciate that they're getting free same-day delivery because they can't get that anywhere else. You're paying $10 for that from Amazon or from DoorDash, or from Instacart or another company. And final point, not to beat a dead horse.
Yeah.
But now that Amazon is doing fulfillment from all your local mall stores,
right?
What's stopping them from turning the entire mall now into taking the anchor store in that mall and turning that into like a consolidation center or Amazon fulfillment center, or doing whatever the hell they want in that space now that they're already shopping they're stopping at GNC, they're stopping at PacSun, all these places.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a real long-term play.
Yeah.
If Amazon style, has any legs to stand on here as it gets going, like that's, there definitely got to be something they're thinking about. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like once you put that needle in your arm of selling on Amazon, it's going to be really hard for people to take it out. And it's going to ultimately potentially lead to your downfall too, because then Amazon has your first-party data. You're in a more competitive situation with third-party sellers, which there's plenty of brands out there that would tell you they hate the third-party sellers selling alongside them.
Yeah.
Right? Like what was the lollipop conversation that was in the news recently too. Like, so I don't know. I just wouldn't be going down this road right now. I don't think the situation is that dire, or the need for that type of delivery that quickly is that dire.
I think that's a better question. I think that's a better question.
You need to link up with Amazon for this.
Yeah, I agree.
Or Sur La Table. Why do I need my cookware today?
Well, maybe a gift.
I deliver a gift. I don't know.
No, like I'm going to a party today, and like I want to order like a gift from Sur La Table, and I want to bring it to a party that night. I can see it.
I don't think there's that many cookware emergencies. But anyway, all right, let's keep rolling. Walmart is launching mini experiences for travel, according to Axios, which is, I think, the first Axios mention in the history of this show. I don't know either, but it was fascinating for me to think about. Walmart is embarking on a mini retail journey with health and wellness hospitality company Getaway to add small general stores at select travel outposts across the country. Walmart said that it will open the first general store by Walmart in August at Getaway Hill Country in Wimberley, Texas, located near Austin and San Antonio. Getaway, for those unfamiliar, is a network of modern cabin retreats and says it will have 28 quote-unquote outposts by the end of the year. The stores are approximately 75 square feet. Holy crap, that's small. And after the first store in Texas opens, there are plans to open 4 more general store locations through the end of the year. Those planned locations include Getaway Machimudis in Moodus, Connecticut. Hope I said that right. Getaway Big Bear in Running Springs, California. Getaway Western Catskills in Roscoe, New York. And Getaway Ozark Highlands in Osceola, Missouri. And
yes,
you won me over to include this story this week. When you first talked to me about it, I was like, no way, we're talking about this. But enlighten our audience with your thoughts, because I thought you brought up some really, really interesting points here.
Well, I mostly have questions about this. Like, there's a lot of questions that came to mind here. Because after reading the story, like, I feel like this is great for Getaway and Walmart. I'm like, why? What are you doing here? Why are you focusing resources on this partnership? Like, I'm all for partnerships for big retailers and thinking about how to like get down to the local level, but this really leaves me mystified.
And didn't Walmart just lay off people too?
Yes, like 200 people.
Yeah, and they're focusing on, that's a great point.
So my question is, the biggest question for me is, Walmart, you have Amazon coming in. They already have 40 fresh stores right now in the U.S. They're breathing down your neck. They're all offering just walk out technology, and you are not even experimenting with a small format cashierless store of your own.
Right.
Like, if I'm Walmart, I should be thinking about what kind of efforts I can focus on creating my own small format stores. How can I get Walmart into more places, and how can I leverage technology to make those experiences hyper convenient, and then figure out how to roll those out to my stores to like go against Amazon and the impending doom that I feel like they're going to be facing. And then second, what's the pricing strategy here? Like, you're now talking about a camp store, a tiny general store that's 75 square feet. Like, is there any like brand love for Walmart in these places that's going to justify like putting the Walmart name on that? And is it going to be low price? Is it going to fulfill the Walmart promise of
75 square feet?
Yeah, exactly. Like, are you going to have to? A camp store, they upcharge everything. S'mores to
Right, you got to get the product.
Ponchos,
there.
You got to have the product there. So is it going to fulfill the Walmart promise in here? I don't know. I just have so many questions, especially the selection in these areas. Like Walmart, you could build a small format store of your own in these same places to still serve that audience, but then you could be like redefining what kind of categories you sell there and like using technology to modify the store based on what you're finding people need in that area. I just wouldn't have done it this way. I don't understand, Chris.
Okay, so net, you don't like this.
I just don't understand.
But you also don't like it, right? It goes beyond.
I'm not a fan. I would not if I was at Walmart, I would not be putting resources towards this.
So would you tell Doug McMillan to kill it?
Yeah. Well, I would say, Doug, let's look at the budget for this, and I think I would recreate a strategy here.
So you just laid off, I think it was like 150, 200 people, and you would be like, why are you keeping people on this project?
Exactly. Yes.
And laying off other people? 100% you would. Yes. 100% you would. And everyone listening should know that and realize that. And everyone at Walmart, I feel for you, especially if you were laid off, because they're focusing on this. It's total BS. It is absolute BS. And I'm so glad you brought this story up to me and put it the way you did, because it is actually downright insane. It is downright insane. Your point about 40 Amazon Fresh stores using Just Walk Out technology really brought it home to me. It's like, it's just a pure waste of time. Like, and by the way, don't most of these markets already have like Walmarts too? Like,
well, that's an excellent point.
When I go up north to travel outposts, in Minnesota, like that's when I shop at Walmart. Right. That's how Walmart grew to be what it is today.
Exactly.
Like, so I don't get this.
Yeah, it's not. You don't have the convenience, I guess, of like being able to walk up the trail and go to the camp store. But I mean, I think your point is exactly right. Like, if you need some of this stuff, odds are, especially with a limited selection of products, you're probably going to need to go to the Walmart that's in town or 20 miles away or whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea because I don't know exactly where these are. But I have to ask that question as it scales nationally, right? There's probably a Walmart near San Antonio in Texas, I gotta think.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, Doug, if you're listening, probably not, but if you are, kill this idea. Invest in computer vision in some real, tangible Walmart way. Enough said, in our opinion.
All right, let's go to the last headline, Chris. According to The Information, 7-Eleven has reportedly acquired Skipcart, a white label delivery startup providing same-day and on-demand delivery. Restaurant Dive is also reporting that no terms or conditions of the deal have been clarified, and neither company will respond to requests for comment as of press time. But according to the report, Chris, the deal will allow 7-Eleven to compete directly with DoorDash, which 7-Eleven has partnered with since 2015, and also GoPuff.
Yeah.
We had to include this one. What are your thoughts on it?
I think, honestly, I think this is interesting. I think it's more of a defense against GoPuff than anything, than it is about the DoorDash things that are going out there in the media. Yeah, because, the beauty of it to me is like 7-Eleven has what GoPuff and the other delivery guys don't, which is warehouses, and those warehouses are called stores.
Right.
So getting them to work against this potential threat is really important. Now, the crux of the issue to me, though, is does crowdsourced delivery, which is what Skipcart specializes in, work in the instant delivery game or in the ultra fast delivery game? GoPuff would tell you it does not. Mm-hmm. But I think effectively the jury's still out on that because the game is so new.
Yes.
And, when you bring in an element of like 7-Eleven and all its stores and where they're located, that could change the game potentially. So I don't know, but time will tell. I think it's interesting to watch. I emailed the CEO yesterday, Ben Jones, about this. And
of Skipcart?
Of Skipcart to see if he could give me any intel. He couldn't. But if he's listening, hopefully at some point he'll give us some retort to our commentary here. But Ann, this also happens to be, and for loyal Omni Talk listeners, they'll notice that we did not ask the A&M put you on the spot question yet.
Okay.
And so this happens to be where I'm going to put you on the spot. So here is this week's question from an A&M.
Okay.
7-Eleven's acquisition of Skipcart is exciting. They're excited by it, Ann. Wow. But could potentially turn their current delivery partners, i.e. DoorDash and Uber Eats, into competitors. Once up and running, do you see 7-Eleven having a 100% self-delivered model via Skipcart, or more of an ecosystem approach that still includes its current partners? That's a really good question.
Yeah. So I don't know that this is an either or situation.
Okay.
I think that it's still important for 7-Eleven to maintain the relationships with these delivery partners until they get things up and running. And I think we saw something very similar happen with Target back before they acquired Shipt. Like, they were testing with Instacart, they were testing with other delivery providers, and they made the decision, like, once they acquired Shipt, to pretty much go exclusively with Shipt from that point on. So I think that there's a potential that they do what A&M's talking about, that they go in this direction. But I think the important thing to think about right now is that, like, 7-Eleven has to think about, look, this is a land grab right now. As you said, we have tons of stores. We already have all these locations. We need to think about where our customers are going to go first when they need convenience items, and how do we create a platform that executes on that best supports them. The other thing you have to consider with 7-Eleven is that you have tons and tons of franchisees. And so we've seen 7-Eleven in the past build their own tech in-house to fulfill, like, to do scan and go in stores, because they have to be in control of how that gets communicated, how that experience remains consistent among thousands of these franchisees. And so I think that, will we see 7-Eleven eventually go the way of, yes, they acquire this company, they take on their own delivery? I think so. And that's just because of kind of maintaining control and maintaining that consistency throughout. But
I think I agree with you 100%. I mean, I think, like, it's not a mutually exclusive question, right? Like, I think you'll probably see them move more of their business away from the other providers over time. Like, that just seems to make sense, like, as a proportion. But I also think the other thing that's important too is, like, it depends what you're using each of them for. Like, the delivery game is so varied at this point. You've got ultra fast, you got 30-minute, you got same day, you got next day, all that kind of stuff. So
that's a good point.
To see the world as, like, this myopic, like, it's this or that, I think kind of misses the point of the discussion here.
Right.
You know? Right. And so I would imagine that everyone's going to be feeling their way through this.
Yeah, I think you're right too. 7-Eleven's smart in how they do this. They're going to want to make sure, to my earlier point, that they can get their stuff to the customers exactly the way that they need to in each geography. And if that means still partnering with some of these third parties, I think they're still going to have to. But Chris, we've done it. Are you ready to go to the lightning round?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right, Chris. Question number 1. Amazon bought iRobot this week, the maker of the Roomba. You thought this was an important story and wanted to cover it because of the insight that Amazon might now be able to access about the size of your home, where you supposedly spend time based on how dirty your floors are, etc.
Yes.
What do you think that your Roomba would transmit to Amazon about you, Chris Walton?
If Roomba had the capabilities to do anything that I'm ultimately dreaming of it, like, I think it would find out that Cheez-Its are very loved in my family by what's on the floor. I would get served up so many goddamn ads for Cheez-Its from Amazon until the cows come home. And my life would be better, Ann. My life would absolutely be better because my Cheez-It habit across the Walton household would be funded at a much lower discounted rate.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think it's great. All right, Ann. Recent tweet highlighting that George Jetson was actually, believe it or not, guys, George Jetson was born on July 31st, 2022. That tweet went viral. And my question to you is, what is the one Jetsonian perk you would like to see in your lifetime?
Oh, I want to pick 2.
Really?
Flying cars, 100%, and 3D printed dinners. Probably, I would say 3D printed dinners first.
Oh, 100%. I'm not down on flying cars. I don't want to fly a car. You know how many people get hurt if I flew a car?
Yes. Well, hopefully they're self-flying cars, and you don't have to be...
Self-flying cars.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we want you in charge of flying. Although they did still have traffic when they on the Jetsons and stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to 3D printed dinners. I want to sit at my table and, like, punch in something, and
I can get on board with
that.
I can get on board with that.
All right, Chris. Which of the following is the name of an actual dollar store in the UK, Chris?
Yes.
Pound for Pound.
God.
Bring It On Pound, or Pound Town.
All those are hilarious, by the way. And unfortunately, I'm gonna say that I actually know the answer to this. It's Pound Town, and Pound Town is the name of the UK dollar store.
All of our listeners in the UK, Phil Thorne,
we feel for you.
Oliver Banks, Sophie Slowey. How have you not told us about Pound Town?
Yeah, next time I'm
in
London, I'm going to Pound Town, and I am definitely going to Pound Town.
It.
All right, last question. Bed Bath & Beyond is discontinuing its recently introduced Wild Sage private label line. What other brand names do you think were left off or left on, I should say, the cutting room floor when whomever decided to go with wild sage?
Perhaps Mary Jane for Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, my God.
Or perhaps the grass we pass.
The grass we pass. That's so great. Oh, I love that. All right. Well, that wraps us up today. Thanks for sticking with us. Happy birthday today to Chris Hemsworth and a gun, and the one man my mom would oogle verbally out loud during Saturday night's main event when I was a kid, Hulk Hogan. Yeah, my mom had a thing for Hulk Hogan.
He's a Hulk fan,
yeah,
huh?
She was like into him pretty big time. Yeah, I remember that. It was kind of weird. And remember, if you can only read or listen to one retail blog in the business, make it OmniTalk. Our Fast Five podcast is the quickest, fastest rundown of all the week's top news. And our twice-weekly newsletter tells you the top 5 things you need to know each day and also features special content exclusive to us and just for you. And we try really hard to make it all fit within the preview pane of your inbox. You can sign up today at www.omnitalk.blog. Thanks as always for listening in. Please remember to like and leave us a review wherever you happen to listen to your podcast or on YouTube. Remember also to use your promo code RBOT1950 to register for Grocery Shop. That's RBOT1950. And of course, as always, be careful out there.
The OmniTalk Fast 5 is a Microsoft-sponsored podcast. Microsoft Cloud for Retail connects your customers, your people, and your data across the shopper journey, delivering personalized experiences and operational excellence. And is also brought to you in association with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group. The A&M Consumer and Retail Group is a management consulting firm that tackles the most complex challenges and advances its clients, people, and communities toward their maximum potential. CRG brings the experience, tools, and operator-like pragmatism to help retailers and consumer products companies be on the right side of disruption. And Takeoff. Takeoff is transforming grocery by empowering grocers to thrive online. The key is micro-fulfillment, small robotic fulfillment centers that can be leveraged at a hyper-local scale. Takeoff also offers a robust software suite so that grocers can seamlessly integrate the robotic solution into their existing businesses. To learn more, visit takeoff.com. And Sezzle. Sezzle is an innovative buy now, pay later solution that allows shoppers to split purchases into 4 interest-free payments over 6 weeks. To learn more, visit Sezzle.com.